Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Your Saltwater Guide with another phenomenal podcast for you today. We're talking about what's going on out here on the water right now, but it's Promar Ahi USA Tuesday. We're going to follow up with what we were talking about yesterday. The Akira jigs are ready to go. They're being shipped out. Some of you may have already received them. We were talking about it yesterday on the show. If you don't know what these lures are, we're going to show them to you here again. And it's a pretty phenomenal lure, and it works pretty darn well. And we got proof. We got Justin fishing with these things the other day on the back of his boat right at the dock, and they were whaling on the fish on these things. Absolutely whaling on them. They were catching fish on them at Catalina, and then he brought it into the dock, and he opened up the package, and he took it out of the package, and he was catching fish right at the dock. I love the little Spanish mackerel right there that you see in the picture. Now, I want to take this QR code down for just a second and show this to you. So you're going to get two of these shipped out to you, $15.99 for two proven lures. You've watched these on our live shows out on the water. You've watched these while we're out fishing out on the water. You watch these things while Justin's doing his live stuff at the dock. You watch so much of this live stuff going on out on the water day in and day out. We promote the heck out of Promar on all of our shows, our live shows out on the water. And then now these lures came into effect, and man, these things are just, it's hard to keep the fish off of them. So check out the selection they have over at PromarAhiUSA.com. You can see the QR codes right there on the screen. You can grab them right there, and they'll ship them straight to your house. You're going to save 20% on the lures. They're going to be shipped straight to your house. Put in the code YSWG and YSWG and the number 22, or just go through the QR code there, and you'll be very, very happy. I'm going to leave the QR code up there while we do the show. I'm going to pull the lure down for a minute because we have all kinds of things to talk about. So let's see here. So what's going on, gang, is there is bluefin, yellowtail, white sea bass, calico bass, lots and lots of fish biting all over the place. But what I'm getting a lot of phone calls about is, Captain Dave, I want to catch a yellowtail. And most people, yeah, I understand. I want a unicorn. I want a pony. I want all kinds of stuff. But you got to put in your to buy your boat, sign up to the We'll Catch a Yellowtail. You're going to have to learn how to fish. You're going to have to learn castability. You're going to have to learn bait placement. You're going to have to learn how to pick the right bait out of the bait tank. You're going to have to learn how to use that Akira jig. You're going to have to learn how to slow pitch. You're going to have to learn how to do all that stuff before you get into that area where you just are focusing on yellowtail and focusing on I only want to catch a yellowtail. I'm not interested in calico bass or barracuda or bonita or any of that stuff. Well, gang, everything's biting right now. But the calico bass are super aggressive because they're in the spawning mode. So you got to fish through those. And you also got to understand that you got to learn the fundamentals of fishing. You got to learn how to get the right bait on your hook, how to hook the bait proper, how to anchor on the spot proper, how to be in the position where you're actually going to be able to catch those fish instead of not being able to catch them. You got so much to learn before you get to the point where you can go, I just want to catch yellowtail. I get these phone calls because we're signing up like 4 or 5 people a day to the website, gang. And I get phone calls from brand new members all the time that haven't fished yet, but their sisters, brothers, aunts, cousin told them that there's yellowtail out there. And now they just want to catch a yellowtail. And I'm trying to learn the fundamentals. It's super important to learn the fundamentals of fishing before you can just go and catch these big whopper fish. You want to learn the fundamentals of fishing. You want to learn all the different things that it takes to catch that yellowtail. And a lot of times it's accidental, or a lot of times people don't wait for the miracle to happen. I've talked to quite a few people that have fished Catalina in the last few weeks, and every day, day in and day out, they're catching calico bass, barracuda, and bonita, and then they decide to leave to go look for yellowtail. Those yellowtail are there. There's no fences in the ocean. They can go wherever they want to go. So when there's a bunch of commotion behind the boat and things are happening behind the boat, that's when they're going to catch that yellowtail. Or that white sea bass is going to come in behind your boat, and that's when you're going to catch it. But just to think that you're going to sign up to a website, and just because you signed up to it, now you're just going to go catch yellowtail. That's why I have over 500 how-to videos over on the website. That's why we talk so much about all the different things. There's my buddy Ryder right there on the show. And there's, what's your friend's name?
Zaya.
What?
Zaya.
Zaya. They're just checking it out. They're excited to be on a show. That's cool, Ryder. You can be on the show, buddy. You don't have to run away. You don't have to worry. But it's just like Ryder. He's not going to jump on the boat and go expect to catch a yellowtail right away. He's going to have to learn how to fish. You're going to have to spend a little time learning how to fish. Mm-hmm. The reason why we're going late today on the show, gang, and we didn't do it at noon, is because of the fact that Kelly's aunt passed away a week or so, 2 weeks ago, and we're doing a burial at sea on my sister's catamaran, my brother and sister's catamaran tomorrow. So we flew up here to Southern California. I'm hanging out with my buddy Ryder again. We're up here at Grandma's house. Me and Ryder are hanging out, doing this podcast with you. But that's why we had to go late today, because today is a big travel day with us. So we're here doing this because I want you all to understand how important it is to learn the fundamentals of fishing. And we have so many people watching right now that'll explain to you that a lot of these people have been fishing for a long, long time, and they haven't caught a yellowtail, and they don't get to catch a yellowtail every time they go. They got to go through, hey, Captain Al Clowers, how's your mouth, man? If you want to jump on, Al, you have that same link I sent you. You can jump on right now. If I see you on the side, I'll bring you in on the show. I also sent your buddy a link to come on the show. So if you want to come on the show, Al, and talk a little bit about this, it's RYDER. And if you want to talk about this yellowtail thing and how hard it is, gang, you're not being fair to yourself to think that you bought a boat and you're going to go out and you're going to catch a yellowtail at the island, catch a yellowtail at the Coronados, catch a yellowtail like Pablo did yesterday up at La Jolla or over at Catalina. It's going to take time to learn the fundamentals of fishing. There's a lot of people that have fished, well, not in the last 3 or 4 years because it's been so easy, like that Dorado bite, but before all the dumb fish showed up, if you're fishing the islands, those fish are way smart, and it takes time to learn how to catch them. Hey, Cubby Paul, I would have loved to have had dinner with. I hope you're feeling better, buddy. That's all. We had a nice dinner last night. Talked about you a lot with your wife, but now you've caught thousands of them because you're a member of my website. That's great. But gang, I think these new Akira jigs are going to help you out tremendously for those yellowtail. And there's so many different things going on out here right now. But it's all about fundamentals. We got to get down to the nitty-gritty. We got to talk about the fundamentals. You got to learn the techniques. You got to learn the casting is probably one of the number one things we talk about all the time, how important it is to learn how to cast, to be involved in that casting. You want to be involved in learning how to cast so that every time you're out there, you can cast to where the fish is boiling at. You can cast to the edge of the kelp. You can cast to a nice hairdo. Look at that. That's pretty slick. That's pretty tight. It's all about casting. It's going to change. When you see the yellowtail boiling off the starboard side and you can't cast out to where they are, yeah, you're going to get a calico bass, a barracuda, or a bonita. Or you see the yellowtail boiling on the bow and you go up there and chuck the iron off the bow and bring the surface iron through the school of yellowtail. All that stuff matters. Castability is probably the number one thing that's going to change the fact that you're not catching yellowtail. And then the other one is this bluefin thing. You guys are only seeing the boats that are catching. Last week when I was up here, I went to the launch ramp at Shelter Island, and I probably watched 40 different boats come into the launch ramp. And out of those 40, one of them had some bluefin and the other ones didn't. Now, all those guys that didn't catch a bluefin, they didn't post pictures of the bluefin. They didn't put picture up of them catching absolutely nothing, right? Right, Gia? They didn't put up a picture of them catching nothing. So to think that you're going to get a boat and just go out there and catch bluefin, or go out there and catch yellowtail, or go out there and catch yellowfin tuna, which are going to be biting here pretty soon in Southern California with this water getting as hot as it is going to take fundamentals, and you're hunting too. You got to remember, you're offshore hunting. It's just like Justin Botrell says when he goes elk hunting or when he goes deer hunting. He's been a lot of time just looking in the forest and not finding. And then finally you find that bluefin out there on the ocean because you've been hunting all day. You better be able to make that perfect cast, because you only might get one chance to throw into that foamer of bluefin. Also, when you come up on that kelp patty, you better be able to cast to where those dorado or yellowtail are swimming around that area so that your bait will get eaten by them. But it's all about hunting. It's about being offshore and hunting, or being at the islands and hunting for conditions. It's a hunt. Somebody asked me today, hey, Dave, we're going to go offshore tomorrow and we're going to go look for bluefin. First question I asked him is, do you have a very, very good pair of binoculars? Do you have yourself a pair of gyros or a really good pair of field glasses? You could probably get away with, but nowadays there's no reason to not have a really good pair of gyros. So you want to have a really good pair of gyro stabilizing binoculars, and you want to be able to spend the day out there hunting, staring into your binoculars. And like Jimmy Kingsmill says when he's on the show, and he's been on my show a couple times, he's the guy that sells the gyro stabilizing binoculars. He always says, if you don't have a good pair of binoculars, all you're doing out there is fishing for boats. You're taking your field glasses and you're looking at the boat that's over off your starboard side, or you're looking at the boat off your port side, and you're trying to see if they are catching anything. You're not really looking for fish. When you get yourself a nice pair of gyro stabilizing binoculars, you're going to spend the day staring at water, looking for anything that's not water. Anything that doesn't look like water has a very good possibility of being some fish. Oh, okay. All right, Al, you can take as much time off as you want, buddy. Yeah, you got 3 days of offshore fishing. We'll be watching, seeing what you're doing. And then, gang, this squid now showed up at the Channel Islands. It showed up at Catalina. It showed up at Clemente. And this is something that we haven't had really an opportunity to try to catch this stuff. And now it showed up. So I would suggest going back over to the Promar website, like we show you on our live fishing shows all the time. We show tons of Promar products, tons of Promar stuff. We're always talking about Promar on the live shows. And you need one of these. Check this out. new net that Promar made. You throw it down below the squid that won't float, and you pull it right through the middle of that squid, and look at, there you go. Got enough squid to fish with for the day. That's all I would need for a good day of sea bass fishing or yellowtail fishing. You throw that thing in the water 4 or 5 more times, your bait tank's full. Yeah, you need to get one of those nets, and you can get those over at PromarAhi.com, PromarAhiUSA.com. And that net's going to help you when you're trying to catch that squid at Catalina, Clemente, or up at the Channel Islands. You throw that net in the water and you bring it through that school of squid. It's going to help out tremendously, like I showed you in that video. And then you're going to want to make sure you got the right line and the right hook and the right bait placement. And we talk about the GT4 fluorocarbon all the time. Captain Al talks about it. Captain Justin talks about it. Captain Pablo talks about it. And the reason we talk about it is because we firmly in our hearts believe that that's going to change what you catch. It's going to change what you catch dramatically. You're going to have such a phenomenal opportunity when you tie that piece of fluorocarbon onto the front of your braided line, between your braided line and your hook. It's going to give you an opportunity to catch fish because you're rigged up proper. Every single thing matters as you build up to being the guy that can go and catch yellowtail. And there's a lot of captains and there's a lot of guys that fish a lot that go fishing for yellowtail and don't catch one. It's just part of the deal. It's like the premier fish. It's like the prize fish. So you want to make sure you start to learn how to get this castability down. Watch the how-to videos on how to yo-yo, how to fish the surface iron, how to fish the dropper loop, how to fly line a bait, because all those things are going to lead up to making you more successful when you're out there on the water, right, Ryder? Absolutely. So here, you want to sit down? It's super important to make sure that you're prepared when you go out there fishing for these fish. You want to make sure that you're setting yourself up to be successful. Like out on the live shows, when you're watching Justin fish with the client, with the clients, and he's talking about the Promar GT4 fluorocarbon, or he's talking about the Akira jig, or he's talking about his wind-on leaders, the GT4 wind-on leaders that he loves to use when he's doing his thresher shark fishing. It's because we believe that all these pieces to the puzzle matter. So what I can't get across to most people, and I talk to them all the time, is just because you sign up for my website and just because you grab all the numbers for all the spots, that doesn't mean you're going to be able to go catch yellowtail if you don't know how to fish. You got to learn the fundamentals. And the best thing to do right now with this calico bass that's in the spawning mode right now is to get out there, take that thought process of I need a yellowtail or I need a sea bass, and just think, I just need to catch fish. And if you can consistently catch fish every time you go, if you can start to learn how to read conditions, if you can start to understand which way the current needs to go on each spot, and then you can start to put the pieces of the puzzle together, and then you got castability, and you can fly line a sardine, or you can pick the right. You can get to the bait barge in the morning and go, okay, they got 4 to 6 inch sardines. I'm going to need a number 2-aught or a number 4-aught hook. Okay, they got that 7 to 8 inch sardine. I'm going to need a little bit bigger hook, maybe a 4-aught or a 6-aught. What? I know, and we're going to change that. You and I are going fishing in August. I can't even believe my nephew doesn't know how to fish, but we're going to change all that. We're going to get him fishing all the time. We're going to get you going into, you're going to catch a million fish, just like my buddy Elliot. He never fished before. He went fishing with me. He caught so many fish that he couldn't move his arm afterwards. That's what we're headed to, Ryder. We're going to get you out there. I feel horrible that we haven't got you into that fishing thing yet, but we will. We'll get you all dialed in. You'll be set up. You'll be taken care of. Check this out real quick. Promar's new descending device. You have to have one on your boat. It's the law. There's none of them I've ever seen that work as clean and smooth as this one. And basically, you could put your squid squirt on this and start fishing right when that fish makes it down to the bottom. But it's a quick, easy release, very simple to use. This is going to sell out. Get over to the Promar website, use the code YSWG, the number 22, or use the QR code and get one. Shows take you off the live fishing shows. Okay, gang. So what I was showing you there is that descending device. You have to have one of those. Now they changed the depth limits again. So now we can only fish in shallow water, which is crazy. Now you can't fish deeper than 300 feet of water again. They gave us something, they took something away. But that descending device, that's another Promar product that we've been showing you on the live fishing shows. We've been showing you how easy they are to use. We've been showing you everything that matters about them. And all these products that we're showing you on this show today, they're all coming out of the Promar Ahi warehouse right up in Gardena. So when you order your stuff, it's shocking how fast you get this stuff. But all these things are necessary to have, because when you're out fishing for yellowtail and you're not getting your yellowtail, but you want to get some fish to take home to eat, you're going to slide over to the rockfish spots. Cap Mal did it the other day. After he caught his yellowtail, they couldn't get another one, and so they slid over to the rockfish spots. If you do that, you got to have one of those descending devices. And if you watch our live fishing shows, you see Justin and whoever's working for him as a deckhand using it full speed the whole time we're out there. So all I want you to understand is when you go to Promar Ahi USA, on the website, you see every product we talk about all the time, and all of them matter, and all of them are going to help you to be more successful when you go for your boat. And then another I haven't talked about for a while, but that landing net is another big item that you have to have on your boat, because when you signed your fishing license, you said you're going to be compliant with the law. So just saying that you don't understand the law, when they pull up and they ask you where your landing net is and you say you don't have one, I didn't know I needed one, that's not going to get you out of that ticket. You're going to get that ticket. That's the low-lying fruit. That's the easy ticket to write. You got to have a landing net on the boat, Ryder. You got to have a landing net, my man. Okay? With that as a net to get your big whopper fish on the boat when you catch your big whopper fish with Uncle Dave. All right? And we're going to get you a big whopper fish. Gang, I'm going to pull down the QR code for a few minutes while we're talking here. We have a very special guest today. I'm happy that he's with us today. I'm up here to see my buddy Ryder. Ryder and I are going out on my sister's boat tomorrow. Isn't that going to be fun? Yeah. Maybe we'll see some dolphins or some sea lions when we're out there, and then we're going to go to my good friend Shayla's fish market, and we're going to eat some good fish and have some clam chowder, and we're going to celebrate your great Aunt Vicky tomorrow. Is going to be a celebration of Aunt Vicky's life. It's going to be a great day to see all the family members we haven't seen in a very long time. Everybody's going to love seeing you because you're such a little cutie. They're all going to be super happy to see you, Ryder. It's going to be fun. You're going to get 1 million hugs tomorrow. Crazy, huh? Everybody wants to hug Ryder. And your sister, little Gia, she's going to get a bunch of hugs tomorrow too. But gang, when you have people like Ryder coming out fishing with you on your boat, that's not the day to go offshore to go bluefin fishing. That's not the day to go concentrate on yellowtail. That's the day to go local fishing. Go catch a bunch of bass or a bunch of mackerel or a bunch of rockfish. Because I'm telling you, Ryder, or any of you guys how old are you? 9. Any of you that have a 9-year-old son or daughter, it is super important to not blow it when you take them fishing. When you take Ryder fishing or your children or your grandchildren, you don't want to blow it that day. You can ruin it for them. What's Annie Kelly doing? She's trying to make us laugh. We're right in the middle.
Dancing.
She's dancing. That's what's funny, because it's funny looking watching her dance. Huh? Oh my gosh. You got to give us a break, Annie Kelly. You got to give it. We're trying to do a serious show here, right?
Yep.
So to not blow it when you take your children or your grandchildren fishing. You don't want to be all stressed out that day trying to catch a yellowtail or a bluefin, because you already don't know how to fish. And then why put the stress on your children? Break it down, bring it down. It's a calm, relaxing day. Take Ryder or your grandchildren, fish them for 3 or 4 hours. The day you take Ryder and his sister or your grandchildren or your children or your niece or nephew, that's not the day to go hunt for big trophy fish. Ryder doesn't want to. Ryder wants a fish is going to be a trophy fish because he's never caught a fish, which I feel horrible for. That's my fault. You should be catching millions of fish. Not when he told me last time I was here, what did we do? What is the first thing we did?
About a fishing pole.
Went and bought you a fishing pole, right?
Five.
At Big Five, that's right. We went and got you a fishing pole right away, and we went out in the backyard, and you guys all got to watch it live. Ryder and I were in the backyard learning how to cast, because right back to what we were talking about, castability is the most important thing. Castability is super duper important. So the fact that the castability thing was the first thing I took him out in the backyard and was teaching him how to do. It's not because I just want Ryder to be a good caster. I want Ryder to be able to catch fish. Kelly girl spent hours and hours on the back of the boat practicing her casting because she didn't want me to keep doing everything for her. She wanted to be able to do it. I tell you guys all the time, and so many of my guests come on and talk about what separates everybody is your castability in as far as fishing goes. And I don't care if you're fishing for green bass like Captain Al Clowers or Adam Cargill talks about, largemouth bass fishing, or if you're on the boat fishing for bluefin or bass or bonita or barracuda or yellowtail. You've got to be able to place your bait where that fish is. So it's super important to practice.
Very
and
hard.
Get out of the thought process, I only want to catch a yellowtail. Get in the thought process of, I want to go fishing. My good buddy Ron V, member of the website, he's been a member of the website for just a little over 2 years now. Him and I were talking this morning. He's been to Catalina now twice, and he can't get a yellowtail, and he knows how to cast, but these dang bass are so aggressive right now because they're in the spawning mode that he hasn't caught his yellowtail. But what he told me this morning, and I was like, I'm going to talk about that on my podcast, is being a member of your Saltwater Guide has totally changed how he approaches the fishing thing. He understands how to read conditions. He understands how important anchoring is. He understands how important bait selection and bait placement is. And all those things matter, Ryder. How happy are you that me and Auntie are here?
Good.
You pretty happy? Pretty happy? We have a good time together, don't we, buddy?
Yep. The bad thing is I gotta go eat my pizza.
Yeah, go eat your pizza, buddy. Go. That's not a bad thing. Uncle Dave brought you home some pizza to eat. We just landed in Tijuana at 3:30 this afternoon, and then we drove to Yucaipa. I don't know if you know where that is, but it was a nice 3.5 hour drive in the car. So that's why we were late. I thought I would be up here by 6:30, but I don't know if you guys have driven the highways and byways of Southern California lately, but things aren't flowing that good. It was flowing a lot better 2.5 years ago when all that crazy stuff was. Yeah, it's tough now. But I don't know if you guys heard Justin was on the show yesterday, him and Rylan. He's got 4 trips in a row that we're going to be fishing live at Catalina starting on Thursday. We're going to be showing that at Kyra Series Jig. Justin has them on the boat. He's going to have that GT4 fluorocarbon on the boat. He's going to be using the nets and the gaffs, and he's going to be talking about it. And we're going to be throwing the QR code up, and we're going to be showing you all these products that we talk about on the show all the time. They work phenomenal. And on the live shows, it's so exciting because there's no editing. So you get to see what's going on in real time. Now, when you go over to someone's YouTube channel, they've edited the heck out of what you're about to watch. So you only get to see them winding in the fish. You don't get to see how they found the fish, how they went about presenting everything proper to catch the fish. Yesterday, in the second part of our show, the Promar part of our show, when Pablo was out there fishing, he was showing you the GT4 fluorocarbon. He was using it. And right after his phone went dead, he caught a nice 15-pound yellowtail for that family he had on the boat. But he was telling you all about the GT4 fluorocarbon because it's a super important tool to have on the boat when you're fishing. Everything we talk about, gang, are products that we use on all of our guides' boats. Sonny uses them on his boat up at the Channel Island. Sonny's dying for that net because right now that squid won't float up at the Channel Islands. You can jig it, but if you had that net, threw it over and let it sink to the bottom, it would work. It would definitely work to get that for you, that squid. And all these products by Promar are made for us. And I talk about Promar a lot because they've been my sponsor. They've been with me for a very long time. And the reason why is because we were using their products when I first started that lobster hoop netting thing back in 2005, 2006, when no one else was doing it. I got with Promar and I'm like, look, my wife just caught the largest lobster ever caught in California. I'm catching all these big lobsters. Let's work together. Let's start doing this hoop net thing together. We started working on that together. And then Ben and Steve and I started putting together all the other products and field testing them and having Justin Botrell involved. And we're testing all these products and we're finding out that they work. And then we're doing it live out on the boat. There's no better way to see if the product actually works than one with no editing. That's the unique thing about our live fishing shows that go on for 6, 7, 8 hours. It's live, so there's no way that we can hide the ball and we can catch the fish on another piece of line or another lure or use another type of descending device. You're watching it all live in real time, watching all this stuff go down. And it's pretty amazing that exists. And thank God that I have some really good friends that helped me put this whole thing together for you. Justin Botrell and a couple other friends. And we got Starlink on the boat and we're able to show you all the great things that happen. But it also allows you to see what doesn't happen, how hard it is to find the fish that want to bite. How you go to this spot, you go to that spot, then you get to that spot, then you finally get to the spot where they bite. Just like when you watch Justin, oh my gosh, 64 lobster trips this year. You couldn't have promoted anybody's product any more better than that. 64 live hoop net trips with Promar being the star because you guys got to watch Justin catch 2,162 lobsters live. There's no editing on that. You guys got to see them all. You got to count them. We did contests when we would start counting them coming out of the tank, see if you guys were following along or watching enough, and we were giving away all kinds of products. It's absolutely amazing, gang, the things that we're able to accomplish because of the wonderful community that we've built over here at Your Saltwater Guide. The members coming out on the boat, allowing us to video them live out there on the boat, allowing for that them to be seen streaming live, watching them catch fish. Now, nobody even asks, can we go live? I mean, Justin doesn't even have to ask the people, hey, do you want us to go live? They're already planning on being live out on the boat because they've talked to their family, they've talked to their friends. So when we do these live fishing trips, it's incredible because when I would come home from fishing, I'd have to explain to Kelly what happened today. When Justin would come home, he'd have to explain to Amanda what happened today. Now, or when you bought a ticket and you went on a boat and you got home and you explained to your family, now you can go out with us on a charter and be live like Pablo was with that family yesterday, or Justin's been, I don't even know how many times. And you get to watch, and your family can watch from the comfort of their home. It's such a spectacular thing that we're on to, gang. But why did I talk about that? Because you can watch the people live on the show, and you can see the people that can cast. You can see the people that are constantly catching. You can see all the idiosyncrasies of this fishing thing. It's easy when you know how, but it's tough when you don't. When you don't know how to cast, when you don't know which hook to pick, when you don't know what line to pick, when you don't know what lure to pick or how to present the lure proper. That's why I believe these live fishing shows are so good for everybody. You have those of you that are members of my website, you have access to the 500 plus how-to videos. You have access to the game plans, the hot spots. You have access to me. You have access to the guys at Promar. You have access to Justin. You have access to Al. You have access to Sonny. You have access to Pablo. But to watch them put together the puzzle on these live fishing trips, I think that's gold, because it's showing everybody how important every single thing is. Bait placement, bait presentation, bait quality, line quality, all the different things that we talk about all the time. And if you guys have not been over to the Promar website, you're just basically cheating on yourself. Because you can go over there to PromarAhiUSA.com. You can just go there and just start scrolling through the plethora of products that they have for us to fish with. It'll blow your mind. All the things that you're already using on a daily basis that you didn't know came from Promar. And now you're like, wow, not only does it come from Promar, but I get a discount code. So I get to use that discount code whenever I want to. That's pretty spectacular. That is pretty unbelievable that they're offering this discount to you simply for watching the show. And then product recognition. People are going into stores now and everything, and they see the Promar, and they go, oh, that's your saltwater. That's what your saltwater guide uses. That's the product that your saltwater guide uses. So it's just helping out tremendously. And I just want you all to understand, I do this every day because we're losing our industry. Jeanette, Dave, you guys are watching. You're doing a lot to help me with this, showing the all the things that are going on with the windmills. But gang, if you're not a part of ccacalifornia.org, or you're not a part of the STAR tournament, which is an absolute unbelievable tournament it costs $40 to be in this fishing tournament, gang. Check it out right there on your screen. Every month, they give away a prize to one lucky raffle ticket winner. How do you get your raffle tickets in? You catch a fish big enough to qualify. You take a picture of it. You enter it onto the app, the picture of your fish laying on the measuring device, and you send it in, and that throws another raffle ticket in the can. I know one of your Saltwater Guide members are going to win that boat because, my goodness, everybody that watches our show is a part of this, and we're just shoveling tickets in for the raffle every day, Ryder. We're shoveling tickets in for this phenomenal fishing tournament. The Stars tournament is set up for one reason: to raise money for ccacalifornia.org. ccacalifornia.org is the only organization we have that's actually speaking for us at all these meetings where they're trying to close fishing. So if you look right in the right next to where it says win the boat, if that's the QR code, if you take, let's see if we blow it up a little bit. Can we blow? Yeah, hit it with your phone right now. I think it'll work for you. And then you can get on the Star Tournament and you can be killing it with the Star Tournament. You can be putting in all those raffle tickets like all of our members are doing, gang. So grab that QR code for the Star Tournament, and then I'll show you a couple pictures of people that caught some fish that put them in for the Star Tournament already. You want to be in on this tournament, gang. It's going to be spectacular to watch us from your saltwater guide start winning all these prizes. Here's what it's going to look like when you're measuring your fish. You lay your yellowtail down right there on the tape measure. You can see it's already way bigger than it's supposed to be. Take a picture of it, send it in on the app. That throws a new raffle ticket in the box for you with your name on it. Even if you win the weekly or the monthly prize, that still leaves your raffle tickets back in there. They don't take them out, and they leave them in for when they draw the 10 grand prizes. Everybody that fishes in Southern California should be in this tournament because it's raising money so that we can start to fight all these closures that they keep shoving down our throat. So make sure you get involved with ccacalifornia.org. Make sure you get into this raffle, the Star Tournament, Ryder, because isn't that a cool fish? That's a yellowtail. And you can get a fish in and you can have a fish measured. Oh, Ryder, for goodness sake, was that you that just tootied? That was me? No way. Look at this, is a qualifying fish for the Star Tournament. Yeah, that's a halibut. This is a qualifying fish for the Star Tournament. There's a nice calico bass, went over the. All these guys are getting to put these raffle tickets in the box just because they listened to your saltwater guide. They became a member. They became a participant in the Star Tournament, and now they're throwing raffle tickets in the box. And you get the same amount of raffle tickets for a 300-pound bluefin as you get for a 18-inch calico bass. So remember that. Just because you catch giant bluefin doesn't mean you're going to win this tournament. Okay? You're going to have to put a lot of tickets in there. This is going to go on until Labor Day weekend, until the 2nd of September. That'll be the cutoff date. That'll be the end of the tournament. That week, they'll announce the winner of the boat and the other 9 grand prizes. There's a plethora of prizes. You're going to be super happy. You want to get involved with this tournament. Like Justin Botrell says, $40 to fish a tournament that lasts for another 2 months. That's a pretty good deal, gang. If you ask me, that's a pretty dang good deal. Almost 2 months, July, August. Yeah, just about almost 2 months. That's a pretty good $40 to fish that tournament. And you can get in on the last day, like Wayne and Chris said. But I'd get in now. I wouldn't wait. So grab that QR code or go over here to ccacalifornia.org and get in on that Star Tournament, gang. You will not be disappointed. Here, I'll throw a big old QR code up there. You guys can check that one out and see what you think. Okay, and then let's see. What do we got? What do we got, Ryder? We got to go play, huh?
Yeah.
Uncle Dave's got to go hang out with his buddy Ryder. Gang, we're going to do our very, very best to do the podcast tomorrow from down at Dana Point. We're going to try to get down there. Bill Varney will join me. We'll do it from Dana Point Harbor tomorrow before we go out on the boat to spread Ryder great aunt ashes tomorrow. We're going to do a burial at sea with the family out on the boat. Thank you, Donna, for donating the boat to us for this. And Shayla Manser, thank you for John's Fish Market for supplying the food. And it's going to be a heavy day tomorrow, but we're going to do our show from down in Dana Point Harbor, right? Yep. You're going to help me?
Yeah.
All right. Gang, thank you all for watching the show tonight. I know it's off time, but I just want you all to understand how important it is to get involved, be involved, but also how important the fundamentals of fishing are. You got to learn the fundamentals. Like one of us said, you got to learn how to walk before you can run. You got to learn how to do all that before you can just expect to catch a yellowtail. They're a pretty prized possession, gang. We all want a yellowtail, but we all don't get one. We got to put in time on water, all right? Say goodbye to everybody.
Bye.
Bye, you guys. Have a good night. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Be kind to each other. Turn off the news. They're all lying. Ryder and I will be with you tomorrow, right, buddy?
Yep.
All right, Ryder.